Mike, we have a few minutes to talk about credit. I'm calling it credit restoration. It's not really about restoring your credit. It's more about how to make sure that once you have done that, what your options are. So let me ask you this. If I declared bankruptcy last year, are you going to give me a mortgage?
Probably not.
Oh, come on.
Well, there's a couple of factors that go into that. There's different types of bankruptcies, of course. There's a Chapter 7 and a Chapter 13. And
Right.
Chapter 13 is the repayment plan. And generally speaking, you have to be in a Chapter 13 and make payments on it for 12 months. And if you do that, you can actually get a mortgage while you're in Chapter 13 with VA or FHA.
While you're in Chapter,
Correct.
you can do that.
Correct.
But what do you have to have then? Your income has to be solid. You have to demonstrate.
No,
that,
if you were in Chapter 13 and you're making that payment history, you have to get permission from the court. They have to grant you the permission to be able to buy another house.
Yeah.
And, of course, you'd have to qualify, just like anybody else would, with your bankruptcy payments, your other debt, and a new mortgage payment.
Is that? But I can't imagine that's easy to do.
I
mean, you're saying
we do
you
it
can
quite
do
a lot.
it. Really?
Yeah, we really do it quite a lot with FHA loans.
Krista, go ahead with that bankruptcy you were talking about. It's going to be fine. You're going to be fine.
Of course, a Chapter 7 is a little different because that's the plan that, wipes out your debt.
Right. So that's a liquidation.
That's right.
Chapter 7 is liquidation, meaning all of your debts are forgiven, except, of course, taxes, because they are never forgiven. Right.
And even on those, on an FHA loan and a VA loan, you can do that 2 years after the discharge. But you've got to reestablish some credit as well. You've got to be able to demonstrate that, hey, whatever happened isn't going to happen again.
Right. So it comes back to, the mortgage world is always going to look at credit. They're going to look at your credit score. They're going to look at your down payment. And they're going to look at your ability to pay or your income, right?
That's right.
Those
Your
are
debt
always
right.
kind of the three legs of that mortgage stool. That's what I like to call it, mortgage stool.
Yes, sir. There you go.
There you go with the one-word answers.
That wasn't one word.
So what about folks who had a short sale or, had a repo? Is there a time frame by which they
a foreclosure?
A foreclosure, right.
Yeah. A foreclosure
I should say repo on the radio.
A foreclosure is a different animal, generally speaking. But, again, on a VA loan, that's typically 2 years. On an FHA loan, that's 3 years. A conventional loan could be up to 7 on a foreclosure.
Meaning that time period before which, of which you need to go through before you're going to be eligible.
Right. Not in every circumstance, but in general, depending on some factors, it could be as long as 7 years.
And it's a long time. And
it is a long time.
And in that 7 years, you still have to maintain, good scores.
Right.
You've got to maintain good payment history.
Because that's what the lender's looking for. They're looking for, okay, what happened to cause that in the first place? And now, since that has happened, after that has happened, what have you done to reestablish and improve that to keep that from happening again?
So if our listeners have had the unfortunate necessity of a bankruptcy, I think the key, and this is where we kind of got an issue this week, was the key is to really have that information down when they talk to you in that pre-qualification process.
That's right. All the documentation they can provide is critically important, whether it's a foreclosure or bankruptcy. Knowing what those dates are, the discharge dates, all of that is very, very vital. Because,
the dates matter. And
absolutely.
You can't fake them through. So if our listeners are thinking about how to get back into the mortgage world,
yeah, please call me, 314-503-6024. No obligation. We can just have a consultation, and I can walk you through it.